Ah, what an exciting afternoon we have for you today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. And I am so absolutely excited to be joined with a member of the Sora team, Tiffany. I'm going to let Tiffany talk a little bit about herself here in just a second. Just to welcome everyone to the webinar. If you are joining us live, we are so excited, ding, less like that, to hear from you in the chat. So if you want to jump in there and let us know who you are and where you're calling in from, that's awesome. We are also taking questions for today's conversation, so you can put those questions in the chat, or you can head into the Q&A feature built right into Zoom. That will work just fine as well. And today we are super excited to be talking about reading goals, reading comprehension, and really just driving this love of sitting down and reading a book. And Tiffany is going to be walking us through some incredible new features within the Sora app that are designed to do exactly that. And then at the end, I'm going to be showing you the best next place to send students after they're done reading a Sora book. Spoiler alert, it's a book creator book template. So stick around for that at the end. But Tiffany, without further ado, share us a little bit about who you are, where you're calling in from. I think it's Ohio.
Yes, I am from Cleveland, Ohio, where, as Meredith pointed out in the chat, it is currently lightning and thundering outside of my window. So hopefully we keep the power. And yes, I'm from the
Mm.
Sora team at Overdrive. I'm a product liaison, which doesn't really matter to any of you, but I'm here to talk about Sora and books and reading, lifelong learner. So excited to be with Book Creator today.
Well, Tiffany, we're super excited to have you as an Ohio native, Columbus, born and raised. I have to say, if you don't like the weather, you think you just wait 10 minutes. I think that's the saying. If everyone's ever been to Ohio, you understand the weather will change quickly. So, yeah, keep your chin up, Tiffany. But super excited to have you show off a little bit about what's going on in Sora. You've got some really fancy new updates coming that actually have me excited to maybe have an account on this, even though, I will never do that. I'm not a kid in school anymore. But yeah, why don't you take us through it? I know it has to do with reading goals. It has to do, there's a gamification aspect, there's badges. I mean, I'm really excited about it. So why don't you take the stage and run us through what's going on?
Thanks so much, David. And yeah, I'm trying to keep my eye on the chat too. So thanks. I'm so excited to see folks from so many different places. So yes, we're going to talk about Sora and reading goals today. We'll look at Sora itself and get you a little primer on that. Reading goals, the milestones. David was talking about some of that gamification. Also, questions that we often get from our educators is, okay, what about the data? And some resources that if you're a Sora partner already can get you started with these new features and definitely more from Book Creator. So first, let's chat about what in the world is Sora. And I'm just going to take us on a little tour here. Sora is a uh, book, an app built with students in mind. It's a reading app. I just gave you a preview of our Explore tab, and we'll go back to that in a second. Where students read. We've got lots of features, so I put together some that I thought would be of interest to this crowd. We've got multiple formats available, customizable reading settings for, Sora for every reader, reading statistics, assigning titles, curriculum tools, all sorts of things, single sign-on. Sora has a lot to offer, so I'm going to try to not overwhelm today and just get to the most exciting parts. Schools build their own digital library collections on Sora by selecting titles that are right for their students. And the exciting part is that we have many different formats available. So if you have students who really dive into audiobooks, we want to meet the needs of those readers. And let's go back to that Explore page now. So I'll give you a quick tour of Sora. Students will start on this Explore page here where their educators can curate collections of the titles that they want them to see, magazines, poetry, all kinds of things, and even extras. If you're a teaching books fan, we've got teaching books and other options as well. In Sora, I can also access titles that my teachers assign to me. They're front and center here. But we can also take notes and highlights, and we can define words, and Sora in real time tracks all of that. So if we're using this for classroom use, super helpful tools. And we've got our shelf here, which is exactly what it sounds like. I can quickly get back to all of my books. And on the Me tab, you can see some reading data. We'll chat about this more. But as David mentioned, we have some gamification in Sora. So students earn achievements as they take on different tasks and explore different parts of the app. But we've got some new milestones, which is what I'm going to get into today. And later, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about the Sora app. Thanks for letting me take a little bit of a tour, but let's explore reading goals next. Specifically for my educators on the line, one thing that we wanted to focus on in this release was positive reinforcement. If you are, let's say, a Duolingo user and you've ever felt the pain of a broken streak, that is something that we wanted to avoid with students, especially because we know there's a lot of testing anxiety and just anxiety in general. You know, it's a tough time to be going through school. So students never have to worry about a broken streak with their reading goals in Sora. They can continue reading and be rewarded as they accumulate their reading goal days. It's also based in the science of reading, in that we know studies show reading 20 to 30 minutes a day can boost student vocabulary, future life outcomes, all sorts of things. And when students enable reading goals, the default setting is 20 minutes. So although they can change it, it's a nice little nod to that and a suggestion for them. And also learner autonomy, we know that that really can help create a reader out of a student who might be an emerging reader. And that self-selection of titles in Sora really leads to a lot more student enthusiasm and excitement about reading. And we also have access to data. There's a lot of data points that students can use just to track their progress over time, and that educators can use for things like reading competitions, future purchases of titles, literacy programs, progress reports, all kinds of things. Depends on your needs. So let's take a little bit of a look at reading goals. You can turn our reading goals on in Sora's main menu. They're optional. This might not be the solution for every student. We know that some students might be demotivated by something like this. So they're optional, but they're easy to enable. As I mentioned, here's our 20-minute default, and students can select a goal between 5 minutes and 60 minutes. Once they turn that on, they get this new reading goal button here. And if they select that, they can get a preview, or sorry, an overview of their reading goal progress. But at a glance, it already shows how far they've gone that day. The circle around the star will fill in slowly. And then also the number of total meeting or reading goals that they've met so far. I apologize if I'm stumbling a bit. There is just live lightning strikes about 10 feet to my right, so appreciate your patience. When you select that reading goal icon, it opens up this reading goals display where both students and teachers can monitor that student progress. And they'll be able to see both where their current milestone is, as well as their daily reading progress. And then at the bottom, there's a calendar of their goal days met. Here's some additional views of the reading data. I wanted to point this out because a week at a time is a great thing to look at, and being able to see 6 months of reading progress at a time and how many times you met a reading goal is really amazing. It's nice that students have this at their fingertips. And so anytime the bar turns red, that student has met their reading goal for the day. But as they hover over bars, they can see how many minutes they read each day, including those where, you know, maybe they ran out of time, and that's okay. No broken streaks. Let's look a little bit at those milestones. So students first start on Earth, logically, and they unlock new milestones as they accumulate those goal days. They'll include a little fun fact here, and Sora will tell them how many days they need to hit the next milestone to kind of keep that motivation going. Thanks, David. Also, I love this continue reading button. I love it's a small detail, but I love that students can click, see how far am I? Oh, okay, I only have one more day to go. Let's continue reading, and it'll jump right back into the book they were exploring. Students can also follow that milestone journey on the Me tab that we previewed before. They can unlock the first few milestones in a matter of days, as you can see here. And then after that, it might take a little bit more time to unlock the next milestone, really getting them into that reading process and dangling some motivation there. But again, positive reinforcement. And what I love is that it shares how much more they need to do without spoiling exactly what's coming next, because that's no fun. Sora also celebrates students when they meet their reading goal and when they reach a reading milestone. So there's a little preview here of the excitement and the celebration that they see for doing some great work. There is our reading goal for the day, and then this would be the 20th day milestone. So if you're a space nerd and if you have not picked up on my solar system necklace, perhaps that's me. Just some nice little touches to have. And then also to help students avoid like they need to keep closing their book to check how far I am to my goal. Definitely had students like that before. Sorry, I was a high school English teacher for about 10 years, so comes from experience. We have this little message up at the top that will say, "Hey, you met your reading goal, but you can keep going," which I think is a nice little feature there. Plus, if they don't like it, we have the option to turn that off and not show it again. What about the data? So I'm going to take a quick peek back at some of the different areas where students and educators can access that reading data. Again, on the Me tab, we've got a nice overview here. This may or may not be from not a real account. This might be from a demo account. So I'm reluctant to say, but I do not often spend 5 hours and 25 minutes per session reading, although I wish that was the life that I was leading. Then we also have a student dashboard. So when you're a Sora partner, you have access to our purchasing portal, which is called Marketplace, but it's a lot more than a purchasing portal. It is where you can access reports, you can get recommended titles. There's a lot of things you can do there. And one of the options within there is to enable a student dashboard. And you can see some of the data points that are shown in the student dashboard. It now includes those reading goals as well. So you can see what their current goal is, how far they've gone in those milestones, just some great statistics to have on hand. But also in Marketplace, we have Sora Activity, which is a great visual overview, generally not specifically about reading goals, but sort of your student population and what their performance is like, how they're engaging with this digital library you've created for them, whether that's through access through your school library, titles from your public library. We have an option for adding those as well, and or whether it is sorry, I'm forgetting whether your school library, a public library, and some of our special collections that we have, including Hickory Hollow. More about that later. So what else? So that is sort of the quick and dirty tour of our new reading goals features. And if you are interested in this, you can always reach out to the Sora team. We'll make sure you have that contact information in the chat. And if you're ready to start promoting something like this, especially with what's coming from Book Creator, we do have an educator kit that kind of packages everything together to make it easy for you to show students how to use Sora, help them understand the reading goals functionality. We even have an infographic you can print out as a bookmark. So we've got some mini lessons for your educators. If you're also a Beanstack user, we've made this handy guide so that students can easily find their reading time and then get more motivating achievements and things in Beanstack. And then these were the infographics that I mentioned. So this one over here is for our educators as a reminder and a nice little promotional tool to say, hey, did you know that we have Sora? Have you been using that in your classroom? And then also one for students, which again, you can print out as a bookmark for them to keep their interest, tuck into their physical book, because we appreciate books of all kind at the Sora team. We like our ebooks, our audiobooks, our print books. All reading is good reading. So That is my tour of Sora and our introduction to the new reading goals feature. So I'm going to turn things back over to David, and if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll get to them as we can.
All reading is good reading, Tiffany.
Yes.
I'm sorry that you almost got struck by lightning today on the
I don't know if
webinar.
you could see it at all. It's intense.
Oh my gosh. Apparently, we wait more than 10 minutes is the now the new saying. I'm so sorry about that. You mentioned Hickory Hollow. I'm excited about Hickory Hollows.
Me too.
You're releasing these new books. They're produced by Sora. What else can you tell me about these?
We've got a lineup of characters who I find really engaging. There's only 6 books to start, but I started with one of them and then I immediately went to the haunted one, and that's what I have checked out now because I'm a spooky girl. I like Halloween, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, really built to promote reading engagement, to meet students where they are, and to have something that is sort of our own special creation or offering to the world of literacy.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I'm on Natalie's story right now, just so you know, like just ripping through that one. But it's
Awesome.
set, it's like all of the books are sort of set around Hickory Hollows, which is this wood and this town that, is may or may not be a bit spooky. And it follows these different characters. It's perfect for grades 3 through 6. And so, if you've never seen it before, I want to let folks watching know we have a Sora reading response journal. All right, and so I said it at the beginning, Tiffany. The best place to go from Sora right after Sora is to have your readers jump into Book Creator and really use the rest of those literacy skills to really cement the power of reading. Right, if you're reading, you're practicing writing. Once you start speaking, you get much better at listening. And we want to reinforce all of those skills in that literacy lesson when we have students' attention in that space. And so, the best place to send folks right after they've read a book is to have them jump into one of these SOAR reading response journals that we have. Teachers can remix right here and remix right into your My Books, create your own version for your students, and then put it in that classroom's library and assign it to your students. You can have them doing all different types of activities. Now, this is super cool. You can use this with pretty much any book, right? They're separated by categories. So you've got these different graphic organizers that are designed for students for summary, theme, connection, reflection, partner activities. This is great. Super generic. You could throw this in after any book. You can do 1, 5, 10. But what if I want something specific to a set of books like Hickory Hollows? Check it out. Super excited to
Yay.
announce we have a little collaboration going on behind the scenes here. Each of the Hickory Hollow books are now going to come alongside of them a nice reading companion for each grade level tier. I am going to show off to you grade 6 tier here, just kind of briefly give you a rundown of what we have in here, but we'll also be releasing the 3 and the other grade level, excuse me, grade 5, 4, and 3. So within this book, it's super exciting. It actually has our Hickory Hollow characters kind of built within it and throughout. And as we have the students working on the different types of themes and off the different grade level appropriate literacy, science of reading rooted activities, they get to interact with the characters. So what you don't see here is when the students are actually editing the book. A lot of these pages have the characters in the corner. And so if I read Natalie's story, I get to bring Natalie into my reading response and I get to use Natalie's imagery. And you can see here, it's all throughout the book. So it's super fun and engaging for the students and really allows them to bring the reading to life in their reflections and in their diet and their breakdown of that text, which we know is super, super important for that reading comprehension and solidifying really the power of what we just had them do reading their book. So really, really excited, Tiffany, to be sharing kind of a sneak peek at these books. Like I said, we'll be releasing one of these for all 4 grade levels that the Hickory Hollow series are designed for. And so you can use these in conjunction with any one of the books in that series. as well as any one of your regular source reading response journals. And then coming soon, very excited to say, we will be launching some summer learning activities as well. We're going to have a whole hub of stuff. All of the stuff that I just showed you for Hickory Hollows and our reading response journals will all be in there. Sora's also got an amazing collection of sweet reads for the summer that the students can be reading without those teacher supports, which is great. So we can be assigning students to be reading these Sora books and then jumping into a reading response activity book. We're going to have 1,000 suggestions for you to build these really fun summer reading and literacy books that you can have students working on throughout the summer in fun ways that feels, I don't know, not like learning, but it is learning,
Right.
and that's
Yeah, it makes it feel
that's what we
a
want, Tiffany.
lot of fun. I know our what David was mentioning is our Sora Sweet Reads summer reading program, although it's no matter where you are in the world, it's open. And I think this year we have more than 200 titles that are sort of just added to your collection for that time period, including some audiobooks, and they're always available. So all your students could have the same book checked out at the same time. And what I love about our partnership with Book Creator is often we'll get questions about, okay, well, how do I know my student read this? And Sora is really built for that reading experience, dive into the book. But because of those notes and highlights and definitions, they can take what they're actively reading in Sora. They can take those highlights where maybe they've said, oh, this is a great example of this character's voice, and then put it right into the Book Creator resources. So there's a nice streamlined process there that then the educators have both the reading data from Sora, but also the comprehension information in Book Creator. It's just a really great pairing.
Yep, yep. It is a great pairing because the proof is in the pudding, right? Like you want that data that backs up what you see happening later as reading comprehension improves, as fluency improves, as the students are producing more in class and being more confident in their writing, right? Those are the lagging indicators that we want to see, but it's really helpful to have that data of tracking these reading goals and showing, hey, this is what works,
Yeah.
and building a tool that's so I guess so cognizant of the student in mind. I really loved hearing you talk about how you're able to sort of turn on and off these features, right? We want to be able to customize things for our students and our readers. And so keeping that in mind for the teachers, I really, really appreciated that. That's something that at Book Creator we really hone in on, is really allowing the teacher to adapt the tool. And I liked to see how you were able to sort of pull out some of those things that might make it not as fun for some of the folks and make it too
Mhm.
competitive or something. So I really appreciated seeing that too as well. And I'm just excited to see all these badges for reading that students are going to start getting and being proud of and excited for, and gamifying reading. Like, God, this
Absolutely.
is how we save the world, Tiffany.
Yes, absolutely. I love the student choice element. That's something I think is great about Sora. You can assign the titles for class, but in the same platform, students can also have, a comic book checked out for their independent reading time. So again, all reading is good reading.
Yeah, exactly. And really, like, what are we trying to teach them? We're trying to teach them to go check out books from the library and read them when no one is watching, right? Like, that's what we want. And so, if you have that built right in, and it slowly just becomes like, I don't know, you're just reading, man. You're reading. It's good.
Yeah.
So, I really love it. I love what you all are doing at Sora, and just your mission to get reading to be a part of every child's life, no matter where they are in the world or what happens in their day to day. They should be able to access these books and be able to read them all the time. And that's one of the reasons why we partner with you, especially on the summer reading program. We think that Book Creators should be accessible to everyone, and so should these books. And gosh, they are. And so we're super
Make
excited
it
to bring
happen.
that to you. Make it happen. And hopefully, not getting struck by lightning in the next 3 minutes.
We're good so far.
Yes, we're wrapping up here. I want to make sure if anyone has any questions, you're still hanging out, please put those in the chat. You can always reach us on the social medias. Katie's got a million links already over there in the chat, but you can follow Sora or Book Creator or myself or Tiffany on any one of the channels there on all of the social medias. You can find us, you can email us, jump into those communities, get involved, and make your voice heard is a great way to. Was that a flash of lightning? Oh my gosh.
It
I
might have
just saw
been.
like a flash of.
I'm tuning them
Oh
out
my
now.
gosh. Now I'm just obsessed. Now I'm worried about it. Jump in the community, get involved. We love to see you and hear you when you're coming into these spaces, um, and to get to know you better. So thank you so much for coming to the webinar. I'm not seeing any questions, but I am seeing lots of links
I
and
see one,
resources.
but I think it
So,
was sent just to me. Um,
oh,
so, it's how is Sora different from Libby? So I'm guessing one of our attendees is a Libby fan, which is a great question. Yes, we've got our Libby app, which is sort of the public library sister of the Sora app. So the Sora app is available for, K through 12 schools. And once you graduate from Sora, then you can enjoy a lot of the same functionality in Libby, which connects you to your public library. So if you are interested in Sora specifically, you can check out discoversora.com or reach out to schools at overdrive.com. If you're a Libby user already, that's mainly, our platform for older users. But this Sora is really targeted for the student, has the student in mind. But great question.
okay. See that I remember Libby. I have Libby because I love getting it on my e-reader. So that's so interesting because I didn't have
Yes,
Sora when I was in school. That's perfect. So I fell in love with Sora as in K through 12, and then you just graduate to Libby somewhere in there, and you just keep using Libby. Oh my gosh! Well, that's you guys
they're
really
a little
do
bit
like
different,
reading.
but the reading interface in them is almost identical, which I think is just a
Yeah,
really natural transition to
yeah.
becoming that lifelong reader once you've graduated.
Well, y'all make it easy. Y'all make it easy. I love it. And then if I'm at a school and I'm interested in getting Sora at my school, is there a place where I should check that out?
Yeah, you can go to discoversora.com, which will kind of give you an overview of the app and everything. Or if you've seen everything and you like it and you just want to reach out, it's schools at overdrive.com. And that'll put you in touch with our team. They can give you all the resources needed and answer any questions about, okay, what titles are available? A lot. What formats are available? All of those things. We've got folks who would be happy to answer.
Gosh, I love that. And I know one of the things that's a real big appeal right now is that you can curate. You can curate
Yeah,
the libraries really with a fine tooth comb. And so your readers are going to see what you want them to see. And I know that's a big issue or big talking point right now. A lot of that granular control that we all want our apps to have. So love
absolutely.
it.
Yeah. Oh,
Tiffany,
and we
I
have
love.
I should
Oh,
mention we have content access levels, which means if
oh,
you envision all of your books in one place at the same time, we have controls that let you choose, okay, well, these books are available for K through 3. These are available for 4 through 6. If anyone had that question in mind, we have tools that allow you to, again, be granular with what students are seeing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We love that about Sora. Super personalized and great for the learner centered application. I think that's why we are just in love with each other. Our apps, they're just
It's a
like
good
kissing in the
pairing.
background. It is a good pairing. Well, until the next time, which I definitely look forward to, Winnie, thank you so much for jumping in and sharing a little bit about reading goals in Sora. Very exciting stuff. But until next time, happy bookmaking,
Yes, thank
and
you,
we'll see you.
everyone.